So, welcome to the main cut. I'm your host, Jade, and I'm really delighted to be here with our guest today. We have Kya Bilal, who has been hairstylist for 20 years, over 20 years, specifically working in television and film for over 12 years. And, Kya's achievements speak for themselves. She has been the lead stylist for two Super Bowls, including this year's where Usher graced the stage. She's been nominated for two Emmys and a Guild Award, as well as being on an Oscar-nominated team for the film Mad Max. I could go
Oscar
on.
winning.
Oscar
Sorry.
winning, sorry.
We won.
Oscar winning for
We
Mad
won.
Max. I mean, I could go on, but I'd rather you have as much time listening to her words of wisdom as possible. So, Kya, welcome to the show. We're really excited to have you here today.
Hi, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I feel blessed and honored to even be asked to be here. And with all the accomplishments, I'm still humble and I appreciate this opportunity. Thank you.
No, we love that, and we love people that are incredibly talented and humble. And I mean, in the world of hairstyling, and I can imagine when it comes to like celebrity hairstyling as well, it must have been just quite a journey that you've been on. So it would be great if you could start by telling us a bit about, where you started, like where did it all start?
So, well, going back to where I first started doing hair is from my teenage years. My sister and myself used to braid each other's hair. And my mom she wasn't a braider, but she was an entrepreneur and she knew a lot of things. So she would braid our hair. But she would get tired and she would stop in the middle and just go on and go to school and I'll finish it tomorrow. Just pull it up in a ponytail. We're like, okay, the ponytail for 1 day, 2 days is fine. But like the third day, it's like, okay, mom, can you finish? And she's like, oh, I'm tired. So then we just got the hair and started braiding each other's hair. Now, my sister took it really seriously at first, and she was like the main braider in our town, braiding everyone's hair at 16. She bought her first car cash. Like, that's how much she was hustling. And I worked, but it was more like, I had an internship at Pacific Bell, customer service. I was doing other things. I was still working, but, it wasn't hair based. And around 18, 19, I actually had started getting into some trouble. And my father's like, Kya, like, you're so talented. Like, why don't you focus on hair? Like, you should, just do hair. And so I went to this was in the phone book. I went in the phone book and I was looking at beauty salons and I found the salon that was in my area. I grew up in Altadena, California, which is close to Los Angeles, but it's more of a suburb of LA. So I found the salon, Lawrence and Colbert, and I just called and asked if I could assist. Now, mind you, I hadn't gone to school or anything yet. I'm just like, oh, I can braid hair a little bit. I might have pressed a couple friends' hair. Let me call this salon. And so this older man, his name, well, I hate to say older, but he was very much older as I'm coming in. And his salon had been there 25 years.
Wow.
So I asked to assist him. He hired me on the spot. But he also was like, do you have any clients? And I'm really like a fake it till you make it girl. So I told him like, yes, I have a few clients. So he was kind of like, okay, you can assist me and you can do your clients and I'm going to give you a booth and you pay $50 a week.
Wow.
So I just jumped in the pool, literally. And I also want to say he was older because he wasn't doing a lot of clients. It got to a point where I surpassed the amount of clients that he was doing.
Wow.
Now, I stayed at this salon for 5 years and I didn't go to school. And I was good because I'm learning from everyone in there, but also I'm just doing twisting, I'm doing braiding. And natural hairstyling can kind of get you through that not going to school. But when you're doing coloring, relaxing, different things like that, you're not really supposed to do that. So after a while, it's like, I'm really good at the things that I do, but I'm not knowledgeable in chemicals and really the health of hair and things of that sort.
Mm,
And I just know that for me to get to this next level, I need to go ahead and go to school. So now I'm
mm,
splitting it up, which is hard to do when you're making income, to actually take that time and like full time go to school.
yeah.
So I enroll in school, and I'm basically going to school during the week and I'm taking clients on the weekend. So I'm doing like 7-day weeks for a year. And
Wow.
it even got funny because the town that I'm in, like some of my clients will come to the school because they can get their hair done cheaper, or people will hear about me like, oh, Kaya's at PCC, like, it's
Okay.
Pasadena City College. I went the city college route. So now I'm in school, I'm doing hair. Um, Basically, I finished school finally and moved salons. No,
Right.
it wasn't anything offensive to Lynn because I was thankful for that part of my journey, but I knew I needed to move a
Mm,
salon to go to the next level. But I do have to tell you about a point in school where I recall someone coming to talk about TV and film. And
okay.
I knew then that I wanted to be in that industry.
Right.
And this was a part of, like, I'll even say the manifestation part, because my father always taught me about that young and just you can do
Mm,
anything you put your mind to. So I'm like, I'm gonna be in the industry. I knew it then.
yeah.
um Cut to, opportunity came for me to work with PD Pablo in a movie with Eddie Griffin. I don't even remember the movie, but it was like a 1-day situation. Myself and my sister, she was gonna braid his hair and I was gonna press it.
Right.
So we're on the stage. I mean, we're on the set, and it's funny because Suge Knight was managing him at this point. It was a random weird thing. So we're on set, and PD Pablo never took his wave cap off. He actually wore it. So we didn't do his hair. We were just chilling
Mhm.
on set. It was a long day.
Mm,
Me and my sister are going to the snack craft services, and a woman complimented my sister on her hair, like, "Oh my God, your hair is beautiful." And she's like, "Thank you, my sister did it," which is me. And
okay.
it's mambo twist. This twist with like textured hair. It's really nice, natural looking. It looks natural, but it is added hair.
Okay.
So this woman's name is Phyllis Williams, and she was a makeup artist. We didn't know that at this time. It's just a nice woman at craft services. But I say all that to say, she referred me to a hairstylist with this. Another person saw the style
Mm,
and asked her about her hair, and I did her hair. So Tanya Cryer is the hairstylist. I do her hair one time.
mm,
6 years after I do her hair, she hits me on Twitter because we talked about, if you have any opportunity, can you please consider me and just think of me?
yeah.
Opportunity came up years later. She hits me on Twitter in my DM. I just happened to see it. And it's like, "Hey, Kai, I have an opportunity for you. Like, call this man, like, tonight."
Wow.
I see the message. I call him. His name is Brian Banks. He had me meet him like the next day. We go sit in his church and have a interview at his church in like the Bible study room. I sat through the service with him. It was really sweet. We sat in the room and he said, "This is a 30-day film. It's low budget. It's non-union, but it's a start, and just
Mm,
so I own a salon at this point,
mm,
and I have a full, book of clients, but it's Monday through Friday we're shooting. So it was back to me like, okay, I'm focusing on this and I'm doing clients on the weekend.
right.
Um, I start the film. I start to talk to the union about how to get in the union. And
Mm,
when you find out about all the things that it takes for you to get into the union, it sounds overwhelming. It sounds crazy. It's like, okay, well, you can do non-union work
mm.
180 days, 60 days consecutive in 3 years. So
Wow.
the
Okay.
first year you need to do 60, the second year you need to do 60, the third year you need to do 60. If you have any gaps in that, none of it counts.
Wow. Wow.
or you can be a star request. And there's like a 30-day thing, star request, and the star has to request you. There's an option. So there's like different ways. Okay, this is another way,
Mm,
star request. Or if your film turns union and you get 30 days, that is another way.
mm,
In the 30 days, I had 1 day off. That's the day I'm talking to the union.
mm.
The union comes and takes over my show, and now my show is union. So my very first opportunity in this industry turned for me.
Right.
Now, the 30 days, mind you, it's 1 day I'm missing because I'm off this 1 day. So Brian's like, well, talk to the producer and see if there's a way that you can get a wrap day so that you can have 30.
Mm.
The producer gave me the day.
Oh, amazing.
So my story is really amazing, but that manifestation part and just me working hard and sacrificing, I believe is a
Mm.
part of the reason why the universe, God really was like, don't worry, I got you.
Yeah.
Period. So that's my first film. It's the first 6 months are a little blurry for me, but I remember after doing this film, I got a lot of calls, and then I got a call to do Mad Max, and it was a situation where
Okay.
I accepted almost 3 shows, and it was just like, oh, but I'm waiting for Mad Max for my shop and my visa and all these things to go through, so I didn't want to not accept a show, knowing
Yeah.
that, you know. And so there's this older guy that I met, and I'm like telling him about, oh my God, like, I can't believe this is happening. But
Mm.
like, I'm going to start this show. But when I leave for Africa, I want you to cover me.
Okay.
He calls the department head. It's like, Kaya's leaving to Africa. And he ends up taking the job from me.
Oh,
But it was okay because he ended up getting sick, and I still had to come
come
back and do
back.
the job. And I'm not saying it's okay that he got sick, but I'm saying the
Mm.
way that he did it, it was almost like karma to where he couldn't really stop the blessing. It was
Mm.
still for me. So I ended
Mm.
up doing the show. It's called Soul Man with Cedric the Entertainment and Niecy Nash.
Right.
I work on it for a month, and then I do get my visa and everything cleared to do Mad Max.
Amazing.
And that was like my start. It was really
Oh,
quick. Once it happened, it was a quick rollout, and very exciting. And then it's like, oh, and on to South Africa.
I mean, that's an amazing. It just sounds like it was like one thing after another that put you in a position that it feels like a lot of hairstylists dream of. A lot of them want to get to that point of doing television and film. Um, and being able to work in that industry where you also get to meet so many people because it's like the connections that enable you to go from one gig to the next, you know.
Absolutely.
So it's just amazing to hear that. And you mentioned a couple of times that you wanted to take yourself to the next level. And I imagine doing that is what kind of kicked the door open with lots of those opportunities because people could see your talent. So when you were in that process of thinking, I want to take it to the next level as a hairstylist, what were the things that you were really trying to do? You said you went to school, you wanted to learn some of the things around like coloring and anything that involved chemicals. So what else were you trying to do?
So it's funny that you say that because right before I got my first opportunity to be on set, I was in instructor training at my same school. So after I finished school, I went back to school for another year to be an instructor. And that was kind of my ultimate goal, was like advanced training. Once I went to school, I realized how advanced I was, and I knew so much because of all the training that I got before I went to school, which
Mm,
is really what gets you the money. Customer service, knowing the health of hair, time management, like all of those things that I learned because Lynn Lawrence, this older man that had been in business for 25 years, gave me so many gems. Like he was
mm,
very knowledgeable, and he had a successful business. So I think
mm,
in my mind, I was always thinking of how can I not only be at the top of my game, help others get there as well. So
Mm,
that was where the teaching came in for me. And that was what I thought. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do it right after I finish this class, but I want to have it under my belt so that because now is when it's going to make sense because I want to help more stylists and even people that are just getting out of school learn how to really do it the right way. School is
mm,
only teaching you how to pass the state board, and it's more about sanitization and
mm,
knowing, things about how chemicals are affecting the hair, but not
mm.
effectively doing the hair. So I think for
Yeah.
me, it's always been about not only me being at the top of my game, but helping people get there as well.
Yeah, and it makes such a huge difference when you can pull people up with you. I mean, you ran a salon, so you got to set the standard for what good and great looked like
Yeah.
with, for yourself and all of the people that you managed. And it would be great to hear a bit more about that. Like, what was that like running a salon and being able to teach all of those people?
Well, the with my salon, it was almost the concept of the suites now. Like it was myself, my brother, and my sister initially. My
Mm,
brother's a barber. Remember, I told you my sister's a braider. So it was like a trifecta.
mm,
I had two assistants, and so they would kind of help us to get everyone through quickly and like make sure
mm,
that someone's getting done, things done at a certain time, not just sitting around, which also plays a part in how you're booking the clients. But yeah, we were all kind of self-sufficient, and I was only open a year before I went on set.
wow.
And so it happened quickly. It was like, oh, I just got the salon, but like, oh, I'm about to go to, the first movie. And then I was going to Africa for 6 months.
Mm,
And so it was interesting because I think that was like a phase out of my clientele for sure. Um, because I had an assistant that I left pretty much everyone with. It's like, she's really good. She
yeah.
actually was older than me and had been doing hair longer than me. And so
Mm,
I'm like, it's okay. She can handle, but sometimes when you tell a client that they're not really so, or if she's
yeah.
not moving the same fast, as quick as I was, or so it got a
Mm,
little tricky in that space, but I did leave them with someone that I
mm.
trusted. So I say all that to say that was a phase out of clientele because when I got back from Africa, it was more I'm doing who I can do on like Saturday and Sunday and not
Right,
really in the salon through the full week
right.
because Mad Max turned into the next show to the next show to the next show. Like it's been crazy
Back to back
in the
since
best way. But I will say this is I will say back to back because I've done so many projects, but we have
mm,
breaks in between, and I'm big on taking a break for myself.
mm,
So I'll take a couple months and maybe not be off completely, but just do clients or commercials or video
yeah,
shoots or something to where it's not so demanding.
yeah. And I can imagine, I mean, you've worked on some incredible sets from, Scandal, Insecure, Mad Max, Lip Sync Battle, the list goes on. So, like what are some of the most memorable and fulfilling moments in your career with all of those programs you've been a part of?
So I would have to first say Real Husbands of Hollywood. Kevin Hart, who's actually a friend, and his barber John is one of my best friends. Like their family. But first working with them, I first was day playing on Real Husbands of Hollywood. I want to say season two, and I've done 3 seasons with them. The camaraderie, the energy, how funny it is. Like you almost felt there was one season where I felt like I was at a family barbecue every day.
Oh,
Like the house that they had for the set, that was Kevin's house, was beautiful. The backyard was amazing, the pool. And then in between they're playing like ping pong, and you know, you have crap, you have the food. Chris Spencer, director, who's like family, like Stan Lathan, who I worked with on Soul Man, who it was like such a hand-picked crew of amazing people. That was my favorite. Lip sync battle was really fun because we got to recreate a lot of looks from like videos that you see, and
Yeah.
just the celebrities that would come in always do a great job. But the dancers is who we would mainly focus on, and we would have to get them, you know, ready for each look, and sometimes a changeover. So really fast paced, but I like that fast pace. And I honestly feel like lip sync battle prepared me for Super Bowl.
Oh, wow. Okay. So do
Yeah.
you feel like had you done lip sync battle before your first Super Bowl and then
Yeah,
that
I
made
did
you
lip sync
feel
battle years ago. Um, and like I'm saying, the fast pace, dealing with so many dancers, just the
okay.
production of it all, and it being so close to kind of what we do in Super Bowl is just on a larger level.
Yeah.
I feel like working on that show definitely prepared me in a way that I didn't even understand, but now it ties together.
Okay. No, that I mean that's amazing. And now you've done two Super Bowls, and
That
that speaks for itself because to go to do it once is amazing. To go back again and to have somebody, ask you to come back is amazing too. So what were
And
those
not only
experiences
that, I
like?
don't know if you know, but Nikki Nelms was my co-department head on that Super Bowl. And that was it was a divine situation because I got asked to go back because of my experience from LA, and she got asked to interview because she's an amazing hairstylist, and her creative is you see Nikki Nelms, like she's a legend, right?
Yeah.
Um we know so many people in this industry, and we when we found out that we were both interviewing, we were like, let's do it together. Like I love her, she
Mm,
loves me. She like why now? Why do we even want to do it separate? Like teamwork makes the dream work, and we can both do this. And I have my strengths, she has her strengths, and LA was amazing, but this at Las Vegas
mm,
was so special. Oh, not only that, because Usher, like the, it's all family, and it's dope. Dope
yeah.
situation.
No, I mean I can only imagine what it's like being asked to do it once, but then to go back and to work with somebody that you already really care about and that you're close with, that must have been like such an incredible experience. Let alone, having to being able to work with Usher and all of his team too.
And not only that, my team, my brother, one of my good
Oh,
friends, Jasmine, one of my friends, Conrad, um, like my one of my sisters from she lives in New York. She did Renaissance. Letty. I
wow.
had such Amber Hamilton. Like I had a powerhouse team. My friend Amber,
Mm,
who works with me a lot, she just won an Emmy. She was a part of my team. Like we had heavy hitters.
yeah.
So it didn't even feel like people were like, "Oh my God, you did Super Bowl. It must have been so crazy." I'm like, actually, it was smooth sailing because we had it. I feel like, and we got hired so late in the game that you would think it would have been chaotic. Not only that, some of our creative got scratched 2 days before the show because it was an issue with wardrobe and like hair and makeup with the stones. They didn't want any stones to fall on the field. So we had to change
Oh,
things in the last minute, and it was still smooth.
wow. That's incredible. Like, and can you just like, talk us through what that process looks like? What is it like being, leading a team and being a part of a team for a Super Bowl? Where does it start?
So where it starts for me, which I'll show you this later, but when I got told I was up for the Super Bowl, I had already did a vision board, and Drake and J. Cole has the song Big as the Superbowl, and it was on
Mm.
my vision board because I just was thinking big, and the Super Bowl felt like.
Mm.
But in the manifestation space, I know I manifested this second one for sure. I was more intentional about what I wanted that to look like.
Mm.
So I knew who I wanted to hire before I really had the job. Okay. And my friend Letty, she's in New York, and they were going to Vegas to celebrate one of my family, like her man's birthday. And they were like,
Mm.
Kaya, we're going to Vegas to celebrate. And I knew I wanted her, but I didn't want to get her too excited before I really had the job. It's like, you know, but in this
Yeah.
space, I had to tell her, I'm like, girl, we might be working. So you have your flight and stuff booked. I might need you to change your flight. Like this is a couple days before it was booked, but this is also me again, like
Mm.
manifesting. So I was going to Vegas either way. But I knew I wanted Letty. I knew who I wanted to hire. I asked Nikki, like, if we get it, who she wanted. So the first part was the team.
Mm.
Now we saw the creative of costume, and then we then had to see the dancers in the costumes to know what look we wanted for them.
Right.
Um, But going a step back in our interviewing process, we had a vision board, mood board to the costumes before we even
Mm.
saw the dancers. So we knew the vibe. Um, I made my vision board and I showed Nikki. And the funny thing is, her work is so like Pinterest, like she is the mood board. Some of her looks were
Mm.
on my board. That's how crazy it
Okay.
was. So, but we made sure that our boards were cohesive so that we kind of, I hate to use the word manipulated because it sounds negative, but we were just so bent on us being together that we wanted it to
Mm.
look, in the same vein. So we
Yeah.
knew the vibe that we wanted according to the costumes. But once we saw the dancers in the costumes, we started designing the looks from that.
Right.
Um, and then, hitting up product lines that we really love. I focused on the team, making sure their flights were together and the
Mm.
budget and things of that sort because I have a lot of department head background. I know that I
Mm.
need to focus on that. But I had Nikki focusing on creative and brand
Mm.
because she's
Right.
a name. She's a big
Mm.
name. When I tell you we had flat of product, so much stuff that we were giving people away. Like we were giving bags to people that we didn't even know. Our team got everything they needed for their kids. Like every product line showed us so much love from Orbe
Wow.
to Moroccan oil to T3 to so many. It's
Mm.
beyond crazy. So that was for us because you don't want to really spend all your budget on product because if they're,
Mm.
sweet enough to send to us, perfect. Then we focused on with our creative what accessories, embellishments, what weave hair, braiding hair, like what we needed in that space. And
Mm.
so that was the main. Once we got to Las Vegas and we saw the rehearsals, then
Right.
we did any tweaks or anything that we needed to, maybe because of this dance movement, she doesn't need to have that braid, things of
Yeah.
that sort. Um, then we had a dress rehearsal. We saw everything in motion, full
Mm.
dress rehearsal. And then that's when the rhinestones got cut.
Okay.
So Nikki and myself, we're think fast girls. So we went and got a lot of glitter spray paint and tinsel and different
Mm.
strings and things that we can still give a pop and, not have to use the rhinestones. So from there, with a really good team and all the prep that we did, all the work was done. All the braiding we did days before so that it'll already be done.
Okay.
Any guys with lock maintenance, and my braider, her name was Cinnamon. She lives in Las Vegas, but we grew up together in Pasadena, the city I told you about.
Okay.
I've been knowing her since I was 14. So even to bring her on, it was like my team was so handpicked, but everyone was a professional and really, really good at what they do. So it made everything run. The barber's comrade, he did so many designs and just beautiful things. I painted some of the designs with metallic paint, like that Danessa Myricks pigment.
Mm.
We were just having fun, literally. Like we were just having a ball.
That sounds like creativity at its best when you get to
Yeah.
bring so many really talented people together and create and just like bring that vision to life.
And
I
that's the
can't
production
imagine.
part of it all. Like I I've been knowing that I wanted to produce. In the strike, I was able to do a little producing, but in that space, it puts me in super producer mode because it's like, who's gonna do this well and fast and good and be able to
Mm,
just knock it out? And this is the Super Bowl for us too.
yeah, yeah. It's
Who's
something.
our starters?
It's
Who's going
choosing
out
the
there on
right
that field?
people.
Yeah.
And I know you said that you had people in mind already. And for all of the stylists that are listening, and especially those that have that ambition of, doing the Super Bowl, getting to celebrities, getting to the point that they're doing television, film, music videos, photo shoots, what what are some of the key things that you look for in stylists that you choose for your teams?
And that's a tricky one. Because because I know so many,
Mm,
and a lot of the stylists that I know I'm very close with, those are my go-tos. Like people that I know, but the thing that gets tricky with that is if you're really good to your business, right?
yeah.
So for the up and coming, I would say anyone that's really consistent in their craft that I see working and doing the work, and even if you're not like the best, you're constantly working like on doing better and getting better. That's always my first, like, okay, I like them
Mm,
because I see that you're trying and the action more than just talking to me about it. Because
mm,
even in this space, like a lot of people hit me up when they found out that I was doing Super Bowl. It's like, hey, Kya,
mm,
I'm available, which I think is great. I think that you need to reach out, and I think that's a good thing. But there's a fine line between like reaching out and harassing. And
mm,
so I think the ones that kept hitting me up too much or
mm,
pressing about it, feeling pressured, wasn't someone that I was really considering. But there were some people that it's like the next job or the next opportunity that I would obviously want to bring on.
yeah.
Hmm.
No, that makes a lot of sense. So, willingness to learn and consistency, those are two big things that you look
I
for.
love someone that's open, that's just like, hey, how can I help you? Or like, you
Mm,
know, I love that. And I'm big on assistants. Like my assistant Michelle right now, she actually works with myself and a friend. Um, she's just hungry and she's open and
mm,
she's really good. But even sometimes you being really good, my way, I might like you to do things a different way. If you're assisting me, I might want you to do it this way. And like I know you learned this way, but like I want you to just be open to that. I don't want you to
mm,
fight that and feel like, oh, I know so much because we're all learning. And sometimes I might see a way that you can do it faster or more efficient. So you should just be open just because you're assisting me, right? So
mm,
I think if you're in an assistant space or someone that's working under someone, just being open and receptive and
yeah,
not taking it personally.
yeah, yeah. There's a time and a place to lead and be instructed, right? So
Exactly.
when
Exactly.
you're supporting somebody else, that's the time to be instructed.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that makes a lot of sense. And I mean, with all of the different, you worked with so many different celebrities, and I imagine different people with different tastes, different personality types. How do you approach working with all of these different people? Especially when I can imagine, not to say that celebrities are the only people that are demanding, but they have a particular style, they've got a way that they like to appear. How do you go about catering to those different like requests?
Well, I feel like the first part is kind of getting to know them a little bit and just understanding. I like to start off with knowing what they love. Like, what's the style that you love the most? Or what, like, I want to hear their direction first. And if they're even open to my direction, right? But I will say this, I've been doing this a long time. God brings the people into my chair that we usually have a smooth, very smooth interaction. And
Mm,
it's like a trusting thing. Majority people that sit in my chair, they trust me.
mm,
So I don't know if it's the energy that I'm giving off. I don't really have a lot of difficult
okay.
instances. Even if I'm like in a situation like the Super Bowl where I might not be doing their hair, but I'm talking to them about what this person is doing to their hair, they're just trusting that
Mm,
I'm telling them what to do. So
mm,
it might just be the confidence that I exude because I really am very confident in everything I do because I've been doing it. So I just,
mhm,
I hate to say like I know what I'm talking about, but like, most spaces, this is what I do. So they're happy as a professional for you to tell them most of the time.
mm.
Um, there's another way and that looks like, but I usually don't have it.
Okay, no, but I mean that's still a way of managing. Like if you're giving, if I guess if you're in a position, you're making them feel confident about the decisions that you're making, it's easier for people to let go,
Yeah.
you know?
And in TV and film, we're the start of their day and we set the tone for their day. So when their hair looks good, when their makeup looks
Mm,
good, they're able to focus on what they really came to do. We're the professionals that are focused on what their hair and look looks like. So most actors, when they sit in my chair and I start doing, they just feel like, okay, I can focus on my lines now, or okay, I can,
yeah.
or maybe we're just having a conversation about how the weekend went or what like it's usually
Mm,
very smooth. Yeah.
okay. No, I mean that's great to hear, and it feels like you build that personal relationship with them as well. So that
Yeah.
obviously that helps.
Yes.
Um, And it feels like one of the big things is also choosing the right hair products. That's, a huge part of creating an experience for clients. And I know that you were invited to the launch of Beyonce's new haircare line, Cecred, and you've had a chance to test some of those. So how do those products compare to some of the ones you've used before?
If I could be honest, just like B is in a lane of her own, Sacred is in a lane of its own. Um, I'm a product junkie. Like all my friends laugh at me because even in the salon, I came in with my silver case. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm about to use the Sacred. And I'm talking to clients like, you guys ready? Y'all love Beyonce. Let's. So I'm finding out at the same time as the client. And the way the hair felt so clean after the scalp, and it had little granules that actually you can tell it's giving it a little exfoliation to
Mhm.
the moisture that I put back into the hair. I tried both the reconstructive and the deep conditioner, the oil, even the styling lotion, which for me gets tricky because I don't really like to put anything on the hair before I press it, right?
Okay.
And the client that I first used it on, her hair was fine. So I even was taking a big risk, but I wanted to
Mm,
see what it was gonna do. And I asked her to be a model. So, she signed up to be a model.
right.
Amazing. I have nothing negative to say. I feel like the way the hair felt after, I think that women that are into the health of their hair
Mm,
definitely should invest in it and see the result.
wow. I mean, it feels like it's going to be one of those products, like you said, that like Beyonce puts her stamp on things, and we know it's something of quality.
The closest thing that I could say that it reminded me of, um, because I'm like products that I love, I use a lot, and I'm really in the salon, so I'm really shampooing and conditioning hair. Like I'm not just on set where I'm just styling.
Yeah.
It's a 10. It's really nice. I love it.
Mm.
And I feel like Cecred, the way the hair felt after, because of the herbs and stuff they're using, is even better for me.
Okay. So it's like it even elevates the experience that you're giving your clients. It's,
And the
it's
way
nourishing their hair.
the product, the way the bottle looks, it's next level. So it's like not
Presentation is
only does
amazing.
it make the hair feel good and smell good, which is
Okay.
therapeutic for the client. They love for something to smell good. So it's like it smelled good.
Mhm.
It wasn't overbearing. I love it. And I'm a Beyonce fan. And I'm like, I'm not even gonna say I'm a beehive. So I don't want to put that on it. It's like, oh, this girl just loves Beyonce. Like, no, I respect her and I respect her hustle, but I'm not gonna
Mm,
use a product on my clients that I don't think is right. And it was
yeah.
amazing. Yeah, it was
Wow.
amazing.
No, that speaks volumes, especially given you said you're a product junkie. So,
I'm a
you love testing out new products, and it'd be great to know like what are the black hair brands that you use time and time again? Like what has a permanent place on your shelf?
permanent Miel curly, the curl coil. It's not the custard, it's like more of the jelly um permanent place. And actually
Mm,
Kevin Hart got me on it because John was using it on his hair, and
mm,
we were working on True Story. Um and I love it. And it works well. It doesn't leave a buildup. I even use it on my
mm.
daughter. Like it's really good. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I think Miele is that's one of the brands that we hear people say time and time again is a winner. Um, that definitely wins with so many people. Are there any others? Like if there was a runner up, who would you choose?
If there was a runner up, and I'm actually going to keep it different things for different clients, right?
Yeah.
It's that locked in gel. I think the guy is from New Jersey. I don't know his name, but it's in a black container for my locked clients, like Offset. I love it. It doesn't leave a buildup. It's amazing.
That's a new one. Or look out for that one. What I'll also do is
Yeah,
include links to these to the products so that people can take a look at them for themselves. But thank you for those
perfect.
recommendations because there's always people looking for a new thing,
I love it. Yep.
a new product to test. Um, earlier you mentioned you're really passionate about supporting and educating other stylists. That's something that's been, a big part of your journey. You think that you want to become an educator. You are an educator. You realize that really early on in your career. Um, Again, this one's for the stylists that are listening. What are some of the mistakes that you see stylists making right now? And, what can they do to avoid them?
I would say that the stylists are forgetting about customer service. I think that, and that's such a vast thing. It's so many levels to customer service, but you see so many people with like all these rules to book and different things, and sometimes they can come off rude. Um, how they're talking to clients, the time management, having them sit around, or even just overbooking, just flat out overbooking. I think that stylists need to get back to treating the customer like they're the customer. I think sometimes you feel because you have the skill that it's like, you're coming to me, but we are servicing clients, and obviously clients have to treat us right also, but it starts with you. You set the tone for what that interaction looks like. Understanding that, these are people's hard-earned dollars. They want to be treated fairly. They want what they want. They don't want to send you the picture and get the other thing. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's so true. And do you feel that the more stylists go out and educate themselves, the better that will be? Or is this also just a bit of like personality and saying, okay, I need to make sure that I'm focusing on the customer and I'm making sure that I'm not just giving them a great hairstyle, but also a great experience of me as a person?
I start there.
Mm,
But I think that the education is important as well. I think that you can never feel like you know too much. I think that you should always, try to do better. But I think that the experience, like for instance, and this is just going to be me plugging in, the salon that I'm at and my friend's salon, because Jasmine is a good
mm,
friend. Extended Beauty Bar in Glendale. She actually helped me on Superbowl also. But we are in the salon together, and she runs a beautiful place.
mm,
So when you come in, the receptionist greets you. We're on time. We're not having you sitting around. You're going to get a
mm,
mimosa. You're going to get the vibe. Like you're going to get an experience where it's women empowering women. It's no mean
mm,
girls. It's no attitudes when you walk in. Everyone's sweet. Everyone's nice. Like we love and appreciate our clients and they feel the
mm,
same way. That's the energy. Like when I was younger,
mm.
I remember hairstylists being mean.
Wow, yeah,
It wasn't like,
yeah.
oh, a pleasant thing. It was like, oh God,
Mm,
if she burned my ear, she might not even say sorry. Like,
yeah, yeah.
that's not what we're promoting. We're promoting, hi, how are you doing?
Mm,
You look beautiful when you get out of the chair. Like girls leave feeling good. And that's the vibe.
mm,
You're doing hair to help women boost their confidence.
mm,
That's a part of it. It needs to be a safe space. It needs to be a good experience. That's
yeah,
first.
yeah.
Personality, making sure you're being nice, making sure that you are appreciating the person that's coming to give you their money is literally
Mm,
the first thing.
yeah. And I think what happens now is a lot of at least the first thing that I think we see a lot of stylists putting first is the skill. There's loads of it. There are lots of really, really talented people out there who haven't necessarily like done the education. They've just learned, they've self-taught, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that, saying that you're talented, but talent plays hand in hand with that. Oh, they're dealing with a really nice person that knows what they're doing, that's making me feel safe, that's making me feel comfortable and confident too.
Listen, I'm good at hair, but that's not how I got all these experiences that I got.
Mm,
Literally. I mean, there's some girls that are better than me, but they're not
mm,
me.
mm.
Yeah.
That's such an important one to remember. But what I want to do, I mean, thank you. First of all, thank you for all of your your gems that you've dropped throughout this conversation. It's been amazing to hear of your experiences, and all of the things that you're doing to elevate other people as well, because that's not a given. Um, but I'd like to ask, I can only imagine how many projects you must be involved in at the moment. So I would love to know what's next for you. What are the big things that you're working on right now?
So, okay, well, let's just say what's next. Like this week, I'm working with a client that she has a new BET show coming out, and we'll be designing some looks. It's kind of like her coming out. So, I'm excited about that because she's a new actress, and I feel like I'd like to be a part of that, kind of setting the tone for what the brand looks like and
Mm,
getting her look. So I'm super excited about that. I actually got called for a commercial when I was right before I got on the plane yesterday. So I'll be doing a commercial on Friday. Um, I'm personally working on my own scripted show. Um, it's it's a lot about my life and my POV of a investment that myself and my family are in, and
Mm.
You know, I don't want to give too many spoilers, but super excited about that project. And I'm also going to be opening a salon space in Atlanta with a friend. And we're going to be focusing on the health of hair and just getting women back to taking care of their hair. And that I'm also excited about Cecred because hopefully I can have that in the salon. So yeah, just again, me on my journey to do more and help women and people around me.
That sounds, it sounds like it's packed. You've got plenty. There's so much that you're doing. Can't wait to hear more about the salon in Atlanta. Atlanta's going to be lucky to have you, and your team when you land there. And as for the show, I'm sure that will be amazing too. Also for people to get an
Excited.
insight, more of an insight into what you do. I do feel that there are a lot of people in this space that make a lot of noise about themselves and the things that they're doing, which is amazing. Self-promotion is important. Um, but I feel like the world hasn't seen enough of you. You've been in the industry for a long time. You've kind of like also paved the way for a lot of people. 20 years is a very long time to be in the game. 12 years is a long time to be doing television, and film. And I'm sure
Yes,
there are plenty of
it is.
people who wouldn't have come after you had you not gone first. So
Thank you. I appreciate that. You're a sweetheart.
no, I mean, you deserve all the flowers that you get. So thank you for being with us today. I appreciate it. The team appreciates it. I'm sure the listeners do as well. Um, and I guess we can wrap up with, what is the one piece of advice that you have for textured hairstylists who want a place in TV and film, the ones that are aspiring to it?
My one piece of advice is manifest and create that space. Like, we're so powerful and we don't use our power enough. And my like, people talk about how hard it is to get into this industry, but it's not really that hard. We sometimes stop ourselves. So reach out. I'm here. If there's any way I can help anyone, like, start talking about it, start being confident that you believe you can be in that space and go for it.
Mm.
We need you.
No, we definitely need more of them on set. When we have actresses still
Absolutely.
complaining, we have like black actresses, women of color still complaining they don't have the right people on set, and enough of them in unions, then aspire and like you say, manifest it until they get there.
Yeah. And they're more and more getting in. So I'm proud to see. I see more women, and like when I look at shows like Rap Shit and I
Mm,
see the braids and I see the different styles and
mm,
I see Felicia with Issa, like we're seeing it. We just need more.
mm.
And we need everyone. I mean, there's obviously stuff at the top and with our industry that is tricky right now, but it's not impossible. Nothing is.
100%. And I mean, with the amount that you've done, you've proven it can be done. It can be done incredibly well. Um, and also it can be done, I say quickly, but like you said, it was the one opportunity that kicked the door open that brought the others through.
It's true. It's true. All this stuff later, and I'm still like, wow. I mean, I'm some things, you feel confident. It's like I'm supposed to be here, but I'm still in awe of the journey and the things that I see, the people that I'm around. And I'm like, wow, it's amazing. God is good.
All the time.
Live and prove. Yeah.
But thank you so much, Kyle. Again, we appreciate your time. We appreciate you. And well, you've already done amazing things. So we can't wait to see all of the things that come next that you've mentioned. And for everybody who's listening, thank you for joining us for the hour that we've been on. That's a lot of your time spent listening to us as well. So we hope this has been helpful. And yeah, we will see you on the next episode. I won't give any spoilers as to who's up next, but you'll find out pretty soon.